Welcome to Nexxlegacy Sports Radio. Your man Brandon in the building, alongside my host, Phille was rocking.
Hey, shit, man, kicking, you know what I mean? Doing it real big tonight, man. We got Johnnie Harris on, and for those that don't know, man, let me do your homework for you real quick. He played his college ball out of Mississippi State, former defensive back for the New York Giants and Oakland Raiders, arena football defensive specialist for the Philadelphia Soul, played for the Tampa Bay Storm, Orlando Predators, and Grand Rapids Rampage, played 3 years in the Canadian Football League, 1 year with the San Antonio Texans, 2 years with the Toronto Argonauts, winning the Grey Cup championship a few times. He was AFL Defensive Player of the Year and first-team All-Arena Defensive Specialist in 1998, so he's definitely qualified to come in here and do what we do every Friday night, and that is talk sports.
Goddamn right, and you know what I'm saying, we're going to have him on in just a quick second, and also want to make sure you people go check out Nexxlegacy.com, Nexxlegacy.com, as we talk not only sports, we got a whole host of other things we got rocking as well. Tonight's definitely going to be one of those nights. Of course, Philly says we have Johnnie Harris, former Raider, former Giant DB. He's going to come in and he's going to cover some NFL news, some stuff that you may or may not know, certain different types of things. His take on the Saints as well. You know, anytime we get an athlete on, we got to talk about the bounty still, because it's still making news. And I'm sure people already know that the head coach, Mr. Payton, has filed a stay. So we don't know how long that's gonna last, but at the same time, he's not gonna take his suspension lying down. So he did appeal it. We'll definitely see what's going on with that. We're gonna talk NFL draft as well. We're gonna see if there's anybody out there that Mr. Harris sees that's gonna be the next NFL star. And of course, there was one thing, Philly, that kind of dawned on me, and I don't know if you actually, you know, either thought of or whatnot, but you remember how running backs used to be a dime a dozen. Anytime you had a special running back that would carry the ball, you know, first, second, third down, you didn't have all these extra specialists. You know, now it just seems like the running back game is just a dime a dozen now. Like we don't get those nice durable backs like we used to. So we're gonna ask Mr. Harris about that though. I think we need.
Oh yeah, man, most definitely. Because if you look at running backs from back in the day, and take Jerome Bettis for example, you know what I mean, former Pittsburgh Steeler. They called him the bus because he picked the team up and carried them. He carried them with the running game. You know what I mean? So I think that's something we definitely have to chop up a little bit about.
No doubt. And speaking of the man of the hour, we do have Mr. J. Harris in the building.
What's up, guys?
Kid?
How you doing?
What's good, fam?
Oh, man, it's lovely right now. Wonderful Friday night, ready to get out in the streets, man.
There you go. I feel you on that. I
can dig it.
So I heard we talking about the draft, huh?
Yeah, we gonna do that. But first, not only I want to, you know, of course, me and Philly and Nexxlegacy Sports Radio and the staff here want to thank you for calling in and gracing us with some minutes to cover certain NFL topics and things like that. But before we start talking about the draft, I want to get your take on just the whole New Orleans Saints issue, the bounties, the players paying for pay for certain things like that. When you first heard about it, what was your actual take on it? And we're just gonna start right out of the gate with that.
I would say somebody told.
It was definitely a snitch up in there, huh?
You better believe it. And
no doubt.
That's the bottom line on that one.
Now, obviously, it's no secret about the New Orleans Saints placing bounties on players like Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, Kurt Warner, and that's just to name a few. But do you feel Roger Goodell, he's acting accordingly with the 1-year suspension he placed on Sean Payton, the 8 games he placed on Mickey Loomis, Joe Veet, he's got 6 games, and the indefinite suspension on defensive coordinator Greg Williams? Do you feel the punishment fit the crime?
Oh, most definitely. It's the simple fact of the matter is that's in-house, period, without a shadow of a doubt. But the thing about it is when you get caught like that and you have bounties and you got players putting up money like Vilma, that's my man, that's my Under Armour guy. But we actually was the first 2 guys with Under Armour. So, the crazy thing about that is like it was I I would say I'm trying to not say the right.
I know. I can
No, most
hear
definitely.
you kind of pull back a little bit. I can see it.
Yeah,
I can sense it.
it's like everybody in the NFL has those type of scenarios. Me, known as a hitter, you know, the blow up shots is a must. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes you got to separate the man from the ball, but in the same breath, you have to keep that in house. And if you have, you know, pots, you know, and stuff like that, where people putting in, you know, millions, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars and stuff for, you know, for certain shots on certain players, no, that's way out of bounds, bro. You ain't trying to hurt nobody out there. You trying to play football, but to the highest degree, but you know, going for people's legs and knees and head shots and stuff like that, nah, that's not cool.
Do you feel like it's more than just the Saints? You think it might be widespread, or?
Let me tell you something. That's every team in that National Football League, bruh. Trust me. but it ain't to that extent, but it's there. That's for sure.
Right.
Now, do you feel that that maybe Roger Goodell, do you feel that maybe he's making an example out of the New Orleans Saints because he gave them opportunities in the past to come clean and fess up to what they're doing, and the fact that they continue to lie about it? Maybe do you feel that's the reason the penalties are so harsh?
Almost definitely. That's the bottom line. It's like if they would have came clean, especially Sean and the upper management, they would have came clean. They'd have got off. You know, they got a slap on the wrist, but they lied from the jump. And, you know, Greg Williams been doing it since he was with the Redskins.
Yep.
So it's like all that built up. It's like, okay, I gotta break the backs on this. So, you know, I don't have a problem with that at all. He got to do what he got to do, especially for the integrity of the game.
And I feel like when it comes to the NFL, you know, and of course you would know because you put work in, that it's a fraternity. Like anytime that something's going on, no matter what, I mean, if it's not life threatening, you're not gonna go to the media, or you're not gonna go to the press and talk about certain things that's supposed to be, like you said, kept in house. Now, you know, a lot of people kind of, you know, Warren Sapp really was the one that kind of threw it out there on Twitter about Jeremy Shockey being really the snitch or whatnot. Right. To me, I mean, you know, do you feel like it is a fraternity, and for people to kind of like jump outside now Shockey's allegedly, that was thrown only, you know, the way Warren Sapp put out there, but do you feel like, you know, the NFL, especially with the players, it is a fraternity, and you're not supposed to really just kind of go off the deep end like that?
That's what I was saying at first, you know, when I got to, you know, catching my words and stuff, but on that note, it's a brotherhood, my man, you know.
Right.
And if that type of thing go outside the locker room, then that's all bad news. If Jeremy, I played with Jeremy in New York, so if I was the case, you know, that he's the one that, you know, was the mole or the snitch, you know, that's a shame, because I think Jeremy got a little bit more. He got a little bit more pride than that, but you never know. I mean, somebody might offer him a couple bucks to come up out of his mouth. I hope not, you know, but. Now, these guys, I mean, the way these guys getting paid nowadays is phenomenal. So you never know.
Now, now, regardless whether or not it was Jeremy Shockey playing devil's advocate, I don't think anybody in the NFL with our radio station, I don't think anybody supports snitching now. But playing devil's advocate, do you feel maybe that it was the right thing to do, even though it was the wrong thing to do, or do you feel it was like the right thing to do but go about it the wrong way? Just playing devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate, you got to keep your mouth shut. Period.
Yeah. See, that's what I was going with too. I was definitely going with that.
Because he's bringing down the whole, you know, the whole organization. You know, you got 27 guys that's going to be suspended.
Exactly.
Along with your upper management and your coach. So you know, you that's not just throwing like a couple people under the bus. That's throwing the whole organization under the bus for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. And even further from the organization, it's kind of like throwing the NFL under the bus, you know what I mean? Because that's a bunch of unwanted attention that they don't need. They already got the concussion cases from players back in the day and lawsuits they got to deal with and everything like that. So I definitely feel you, and I think it all rolls back to the fraternity thing. Like, you know what I mean? What you see, but you keep your mouth shut about it. What happens there stays there, regardless of your situation.
Most definitely. And you know, I piggyback on that one. It's like if you feel the need to do something like that, you know, I think when it comes down to it, if I was a free agent, there's no way in hell I'm going to New Orleans.
Yep.
Yep. True that.
Yeah, definitely.
True that.
Because you know they're not just losing players and coaches; they gonna lose money.
Mm-hmm.
So you know you can't even like if you're a top-notch free agent, there's no way in hell you can get paid going there.
Real talk.
So
Because what is it now? They're talking about pulling away one of the Super Bowls that's supposed to be in New Orleans or whatnot.
I mean, I
know they got it this year.
Back that far. I mean, he can do anything he wants. You know, real talk.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the thing about it is, it's like he's gonna snatch so many draft picks and so much money from the franchise. They might go back to the Aints.
Yep. Now with you having experience in both the Arena Football League, the NFL, and Canadian Football League, have you ever heard of anything like this happening in other football organizations? And if so, has it been on the level that the Saints put it on?
No. It's a simple fact. I mean, the Saints level is like, it was like a maturation. It was like Greg Williams brought that in from somewhere else, and they bought into it. You know, like you go to different teams and stuff like that. You're not gonna hear that. You know what I mean? It's like you know, take so and so out, do this, and you get you know, certain amounts of money and stuff like that. You'll never hear anything like that. But I mean, quality defense where you can't score upon that much anyway. Like me with the Raiders from '98 to 01, you know, we beat the brakes off of people. You know, from
Most definitely.
You know, from an offense to from a defensive standpoint, so we ain't even need all that. You know what I mean? We just go out there and get everybody do their job and we keep it moving. You know what I mean? And get W's. It don't have to be all that, you know, but when the opportunity is there, you know, and it presents itself, you take somebody's head off. That's the name of the game. We're not ordinary people. You know? I tell people all the time, they be like, how did you do it? How did you do that? I was trained to run a 4-3-4-4 and run into somebody as hard as I could for 12 years.
Johnnie Harris is our guest on Nexxlegacy Sports Radio. And you had time, because we kind of broke down your bio as well to start the show. And I mean, you played in the AFL, the Arena Football League, actually, let me say that. You played in the NFL, of course. You played in the Canadian Football League. What was the best experience you had from each league?
Oh man, I say Canadian football because they gave me my first shot. You know, I like to thank Joe Theismann on that one for bringing me to Toronto, and that was good. I won a Grey Cup there.
Absolutely.
Then when I went to the Arena League when it first opened, you know, they was actually shoving out a little bit of money then. And, you know, I come back to the States and play Tampa Bay, and I, you know, won a championship there with Jay Gruden, which is Coach Gruden's brother. Right. And I actually was the player of the year, and that's when I got the call from, God bless his soul, Al Davis. And came in, and I sat for a little bit, then I got my mind right and took Anthony Dorsett's spot, and you know the rest is history.
and as a Raider fan, my dude, I gotta tell you, you know what I'm saying, I didn't see you play during the time you was with the Raiders, and like I said, it's you know, kicking it in the black hole, and I know that experience is like no other, bruh.
I believe it. But I used to look up there and I'd be like, man, y'all gotta be crazy. Man, oh my goodness. I train high school and college athletes for a living now, and I trained a kid that is about to be a cop, and they had him up in the black hole, and he got beat up every week, and he actually liked it. I was like, yeah, you definitely could be a cop then. I mean, he was getting punched in his nose every week. Like every time I trained him, he got some type of war wound on him. I'm like, I said, they had you in the black hole again, huh?
With you having experience in both the Arena Football League and the NFL, what are some of the adjustments that you have to make going from one league to the other? With Arena Football having the 50-yard field and the more high-paced game, and the NFL having the bigger field, a few more men, and a slower-paced game, what are some adjustments you have to make going from one league to the other?
Well, the thing about arena football? The number one thing is the turf. You know, some of it's loose, some of it's tight. I mean, I've seen guys blow both of their knees on one play. You know, because their cleats or their sneakers got caught in the turf. I mean, I would say right now it's an experience, but it's suicide, to be honest, subject to the amount of money that they pay. So, hey, I don't wish that on nobody, but if you love the game, you'll play anywhere, and that's basically how I was.
That's real talk. That's real talk. When it comes to this league, this NFL that we all love and have a passion for, as a safety and as a defensive player yourself, you know I gotta ask this question, man. You know what happened? What happened to the rule changes that just made it just so easy for these quarterbacks and wide receivers to just go run free? What happened?
They just say they saving it. They trying to make it I think a high scoring effect, you know, because everybody loves touchdowns, you know. So I think that's what they're doing because the no hands after 5-yard rule, and the judgment calls with going for the balls and stuff like that. People ask me all the time, especially my roommate. He asks me all the time, man, you think you could play nowadays? I know you couldn't, and I'll be like, I mean, I'll be out there. It's just, you really can't be as aggressive as you normally are, you know what I mean? Because you're going to wake up and go in Monday morning, that white paper going to be in your locker room for the fine. So it's like, man. So I mean, it's tough for a guy that that loved to hit and just brought it like that on a daily basis, man. I can't believe it, the change nowadays.
Jay Harris, you a defensive dude, man. Like, don't you miss them classic Lester Hayes days, the steel curtain days? Don't you miss that though?
Hey, listen, my biggest thrill I had out here was my man George Jackson and Jack Tatum picked me up from the airport, man.
There you go.
And I was like, wow. And them cats, they was talking about how they liked my game on film. I was like, wow, I was like a kid in the candy store, man. I was so cool with Jack until he left this earth, man. And it was unbelievable, man. It's just like sitting there and see them guys and how hard they hit people and just like walked away like it was nuts. And their protection was a whole lot less than we got.
Man, you ain't never lying.
You talking about
never lying.
Yeah. Oh.
And it's one thing I wanna say real quick on Jack Tatum. I had the opportunity to meet him one time, and to me that one time was a memorable moment because, like you said, man, he's one of the most humble dudes, or he was one of the most humble dudes on this earth, bro. Like he was an amazing guy. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah. One in a million, man. George is the same way, man. Them guys will get, they give you the shirt off your back, man. And there's few people like that, these days. Especially, when you're in, places by yourself and stuff like that. It's tough finding real genuine guys, man. Especially guys that really don't want anything from you, just want to be cool with you. It's hard, But you gotta persevere through that and move on. The Lord always got your back, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah, most definitely. Be strong and just get through it. On a positive note, back to the NFL with a lot of activity happening in free agency, like Williams going over to Buffalo, Brandon Marshall leaving Miami, headed to Chicago, and most noticeable, Peyton Manning leaving Indianapolis to arrive in Denver, and Tim Tebow getting shipped to the Jets. How do you think the two quarterbacks are going to adjust in their new environment?
You know what? I say like Peyton going to Denver is probably the same thing as Indianapolis. You know what I mean? Same type of guy they want. As an organization, same type of guy they want. Putting the organization on their back. The new face. You know what I mean? They can't get no better than Peyton. But the one thing that I love is being from Chicago and the D.C. area, I love the fact that that the Redskins are trying to get RG3, man. That's a blessing.
and you're gonna bring it up, and we're gonna go ahead and talk about it. This NFL draft, and let's go ahead and start the comparisons in. Like we already figured it out. You know, we already know it just seemed like it's written in stone that the Colts are going to take Andrew Luck. RG3 is going to Washington. I mean, you said you're pro him going to Washington. What if the Colts brass just decide, you know what, let's just flip the script. Let's go ahead and get RG3.
Never happened.
Would Andrew Luck fit in Washington as far as what Shanahan's doing and just the overall vibe of being that franchise quarterback for the Redskins?
Of course, because I mean he has a great upside, and he's a great talent. You know, you got to realize they haven't had a franchise quarterback since Joe Theismann, so they'll take anybody.
You ain't never lying.
So the thing about it, I would say the major benefactor of them getting RG3 is I quote Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, when he looks up in the stands, he gonna see a whole lot of people that look just like him. And that's the bottom line.
True that, and you know what, and not just just that. I just think the style and we've heard. I don't know if you heard Donovan McNabb basically say RG3 wouldn't be a good fit. You know, I think honestly, I think he would, just for the simple fact that I know Shanahan is not going to be stupid and adjust this dude's his skill set to cater his ego. Like, I just don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, he don't have a choice because he's on the thin line anyway. He knows that Snyder don't play, bro. But the thing about that situation is like he has to put all his eggs in one basket for that kid. You know, you can't hold him back for nothing because for one he got to win, and for two he has to make a splash so they can bring the fans back because they was losing fans the last couple of years, bro. Majorly. You know, Andrew going to Indianapolis, that's just like a new hybrid Peyton. You know, with athleticism. So you know you can't beat that. You know, them two stops right there.
Yeah, and you know what? Jay Harris is our guest on Nexxlegacy Sports Radio, and you just really made me think, like, damn, like, who was after Joe Theismann in Washington? Who really was? Like, I'm trying to think of quarterback, man, like, I can't think
Mark Rippon didn't even Mark Rippon won the Super Bowl. Him and Doug Williams, they ain't last a year after.
Exactly. Like, they were done. They were done after a while, but they weren't staples for that franchise, and not like Joe Theismann. So it's going to be interesting to see, them commit to a quarterback long term because, like you said, we haven't seen that in the Redskins camp in a long time.
That's for sure. Yeah, I was just watching the kid Richardson today. His pro day. I think he might be. I mean, I'm sure he'd be the first running back, but he might be the only running back that'll make a headway because the rest of them are so small. I mean, the kid.
Man, you ain't.
Oh my goodness, man.
And you ain't lying. And see how ill you are on the radio, bro. You just segueing into my whole question that I got about running backs, man. So you solid, man. You solid. Jay Harris is our guest, and I mean, what about the running back position though? I mean, I'm pretty sure you probably overheard me and Philly talk about this before we segue you in. The shorter lifespans on these running backs just seem you don't have the old school Franco Harris's, and you remember Roger Craig. He used to be the dude that used to carry the ball, 300-400 times or whatnot, and some of these staples in that position. What happened that now it just seemed like their lifespans is like real cut short,
brittle. Bottom line. It can't hold the load no more. You need at least three to four backs now. Period. I mean, look at my man out here. I mean, he's half man, half a season.
Man, and as a Raider fan, man, it's always hard for me to see McFadden get carted off the field because we don't know when that dude's coming back. You know what I mean? Like
every time. I mean, he's a hell of a talent, but he can't last 6 games.
Can't stay healthy.
You can't stay healthy. You can't play. That's the bottom line.
Exactly. I mean, he might be snake bitten, but it might just be him. I mean, he could be. I mean, he's kind of like a track guy anyway. Them guys. I take it. My old teammate James Jett. Them guys get a twisted ankle or something like that. They're done for a minute because they're all muscle, you know. They're light, but they're all muscle. And a lot of those guys, man, they take a couple hits and, you know, they're done. They're done, sad to say. But, yeah, you right on the money like that, man. It's usually, you know, when they get to like 29 or 30, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
But you know what? It never used to be like that, and I'm trying to think. I'm thinking, is it because of what you said about the backs being brittle now, and compound that with how stronger the defense have gotten, and not just the linemen. Like you safeties are another. You know, hey, I guarantee you, if they was to put yourself or any other DBs in the 80s or even the 70s for that matter, y'all would be knocking people out, and they would be staying out. You know what I mean? Like it's a different type of deal now. Defense and the running backs not being as durable as they used to, right?
But you better believe it. Like I remember Marshall, you know, just playing against him. You know, he'd run the ball 15 times, then they go catch for 6 or 7 balls. You know what I mean? And it's just none of those guys these days can even just like I said, they can't even make it past half a season. And it's crazy, but you gotta have the backups, man. Bottom line.
That's right. Yep.
So you gotta have 2 or 3 backs, you know. But let's see.
As a former Raider, and you being out here in the Bay, what is it that you see that the Raiders are doing or not doing in 2012 for the season that's either giving you hope that they could be able to make the playoffs or not?
Well, seeing from a different perspective, I seen everybody, you go to the Raider facility right now, I might know 3 people, you know. So it's like, Reggie, he tremendously gutted that, that organization like no other. There's basically nobody left besides, the equipment managers. You know what I mean? Other than that, there's nobody there, man. And the crazy thing about it is, like, anybody that has a high salary, he made them restructure their contract or he cut them.
Right.
So, his thing is, I think he's just trying to build from the ground up, but they still got talent left, left on the team and stuff like that. It's just they gonna need training camp to put it all together. That's for sure, because that team is so gutted. Just all their mainstay players are, either their contract is cut in half or they're not there. So
they haven't even been active on the free agency as heavy.
No.
They lost more people than they've gotten as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. It seems like they really don't have a lot of money the way it's going right now, because he's trying to make money. That's why he's trying. That's why he made the Palmer and was the guy from New England.
Raymond Seymour.
Yes, Seymour. Yeah, he made the guys with the big contracts. Basically cut them in half. To save a few dollars. So I think they're gonna wait till the draft and pick up a few people. Then they'll go get their free agents, cheap as possible. But don't look forward to a whole lot unless unless something can happen. But you never know. You never know.
Right. And I'm not going to ask you for what's their record going to be, because we don't even know what their team is right now. So we ain't even going to talk about all that right now.
Hey, just play they competitive, man.
There you go. But you know what, Jay Harris? My whole worry is I just don't want the Raiders to turn into the A's.
I agree with that. And I don't think I feel you on that one. Mark, Al's son, he doesn't know a whole lot about football. So, he brought Reggie in to, do what he got to do, but Reggie wanted to gut it. So he's gutting it. Right. But in the same sense, I know he wants to be competitive because he wants to save face and save, keep the fans happy. But, I don't think he's going to try to make any splashes, you know what I mean? So if he was, he would already did it. But he's just going to try to, put a team out there that's hungry, young, and, ready for whatever's in their path. And hopefully, they have some hungry guys on there that's ready to play football.
All right.
We'll see training camp time.
You being a former Giant, the Giants being the world champions now going into this 2012 year. What do you see? Because they lost some people. They lost Manningham. Manningham's a Niner now. Not Ahmad Bradshaw, but Brandon Jacobs. He's a Niner now. You know, some of that core values of the team, the receiving core, is being broken up and whatnot. But what do you see from the Giants, or what do you not see so far in this early free agency and going into the draft next month?
I think they'll be okay because Eli done showed he's elite now, and you know they got the mainstay weapons and the young weapons. You know, got a little younger on defense because they got rid of Ross and a couple guys in the secondary and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I think they'll definitely go to the playoffs. That's for sure. I say 10-6 at the least because they know how to play football.
With the Giants normally starting off kind of slow in the beginning of the season and then picking it up at the end when it really counts, do you feel that maybe not only Eli and a few other players, but do you feel that the team and the organization really comes together when the pressure's on to pull through and win the games? Oh, yeah,
Kaufman. That's the bottom line. Kaufman, he done turned out to be a hell of a coach and a hell of a leader, and for somehow, some way, he gets those guys to follow, they're following. And that's the bottom line. When you get 53 guys that follow their coach and believe anything he say, he got a machine there, man.
No doubt.
That's the truth.
And you know the Giants is gonna definitely have a double-sized target on their back. And then not only that, because not just them being Super Bowl champions, but I don't know, to me as a defensive player, anytime that a damn quarterback is named Eli sounds like a name you just need to go beat the shit out of or something like that.
Yeah, man, if your parents name you Eli, you better be a tough motherfucker because you're either going to get your ass whooped or you're going to learn how to fight real quick.
And I tell you this, I played his first 2 years, and he was softer than tissue paper.
Somebody play have a white paper bag.
Oh my goodness, man! He turned around, man. That boy he went to eyes, man. He got a brain and a heart.
Now,
yeah, he's doing this thing right now, man. I can't be more prouder than that kid.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's one thing I do respect is the fact that, man, that dude, especially with the Niners in this past championship game, that man threw the ball 58 times, and he got his ass knocked around big time, and he still stayed and delivered, you know what I mean? So I definitely respect that dude, but anytime somebody named Eli, man, I just need to go clock that dude one time. I'm just saying.
Hey, what about the kid of Alex Smith completing 10 passes in that game, and they blame the whole game on number 10.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
So,
but you being
I've never in my life seen kids get I've never in my life seen a grown man get death threats because he fumbled a football.
Yeah.
From a quarterback.
Yeah, and Kyle Williams, bless his heart. I mean, that he was just to me, they deserve to lose because of what you just said. That man completed 10 passes, only one went to a receiver. So if you're gonna lose, you're gonna look back on your not having production when it counted. Like, you could have extended drives if you really needed to be able to get the Giants away from what they need to do. So, as Niner fans, people out there listening, y'all just suck that one up, man, because y'all reload and y'all trying to be able to get back in there. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think the Niners are going to go 13-3, but it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do in the NFC this year.
Yeah, I can't see Alex having the same year he had this year. That's for sure. But I mean, their defense still there intact. But people got film on them just as much as anybody else. This coming year. Also, I'm actually interested to see if the kid Smith could actually get Moss the ball. I've never seen throw the ball that far. I don't really watch the Niners, to be totally honest. I can't stand watching them, but I've seen him play a few times, and I don't see no deep ball in that kid. But hey, we'll see.
I love it. Here's our guest on Nexxlegacy Sports Radio. And man, before we let you go, what is it that you're doing as far as different things that you got going on for yourself right now?
Well, I have my own a business called Next Level Training with Donovan Darius from Jacksonville.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and we train high school football players and college football players that's going to college, and college guys is going to the league. So it's doing pretty well for me right now. I got kids from Tracy High School all the way to Bishop O'Dowd, and I'm doing that right now. But I'm gonna get back into to one of these gyms. I got a couple calls from LA Fitness in the city. I'm gonna see what they trying to talk about because they trying to expand. So.
Okay. And they want to attach your name into what's going on out there, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's what's up.
That's what I'm trying to see what they talking about. Then we'll go from there.
And it's one thing that I can respect about you is you actually, wanting to do for these kids. And I know you're training them not just to be able to get their body right for the NFL, if that's their dream, and I know you're trying to get their mind right because, and shout out to Stevie, though, but he always tells me, like, man, Johnnie Harris, man, that dude is a solid dude. Like, he's a real humble cat. You know what I mean? And I know you pro the kids by you working with them, so I definitely got to commend you on that.
Hey, got to tell them where it lies, man. You keep God first, anything can happen for you. You know what I mean? If you get out of bounds with that, some crazy things can happen to you, brother. Trust me.
There you go. Well, you know what? We're gonna have to link up, man, 'cause I need to be in that fitness run, man. I got a fitness trainer, but I'm always trying to moonlight too, bruh. So we gonna have to holler, bro. You gonna have to get it in.
You got some skills you gonna show me?
Man, I'm trying to be trained, bro. I ain't saying I got skills. I'm trying to be trained, dude. You gotta hook a brother up.
Trying to get the 8-pack, huh?
You goddamn right.
All right, hey, I got these. I'm got all these injuries on me. I'm trying to get back in there about 4 or 5 days myself. I'll make it happen, though. I'm walking like I'm 70 right now. But I'll step my game up, though.
Man, yeah, no doubt, man. And I appreciate you calling into the show. And don't be a stranger to the show. Come hang out with us. And, there's going to be a couple of segments, within the next week. I'm going to have to call you about that. I definitely want you to be on on this panel that I got planned for athletes and pensions and different things like that, man. So I got a host of different people on deck that I definitely want you to be a part of. So we're going to have to, keep this communication thing vibing, you know what I mean?
Anytime, man. Just give me a call.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, man. God bless.
All right, you too. Johnnie Harris, former Giant, former Raider.
Nexxlegacy.